Hey guys, Snap Freeze here. Today's video is going to be Super Earth versus the Tau Empire, continuing my Warhammer versus Helldivers series. And before we get in, I just want to say I did this debate because, just how similar the two factions are. A police caste system, hyper surveillance, entire just mega cities built around just surveillance, and just how both of them are meant to be a decently realistic scenario. Also, please tell me which one is Super Earth and which one's the Tau. In your galactic wet east, you have space bugs invading you. In your galactic east, you have another empire who has better melee than you and who uses, just worse laser guns than you. Tell me, who is who? I don't know. I didn't even come to a conclusion. First category up is going to be military power, the overall size and strength of the armed forces. The Tau Empire boasts an estimated population of 150 billion people. Now, of those, 15% make up, an estimated 15% make up the fire caste, which is like the Tau, fighting force, because there's something in the Tau, it's a big taboo. You don't cross castes. Like, if you are an Earth caste, you are a mechanic. You don't fight. If you do, big taboo. Now, of those 15%, that should be about 22.5 billion people that the Tau could pull manpower from, compared to Super Earth, who doesn't have a caste dedicated to fighting. Because, they do have different classes of citizenship, but it does appear that, anyone can, fight. Anyone can join the military, and because how Super Earth's, society completely revolves around war, I would say that Super Earth has a massive advantage in numbers, but obviously numbers aren't everything. Now when it comes to the strength of the armed forces, I'm tempted to give it towards Super Earth because a Tau battle suit is extremely good, would tear through the SCAF like paper, but one or two shots from a Helldiver's railgun and that's gonna either kill the pilot or seriously mess up the mech. And sure, a Town R is also gonna be massive literally, in war, both figuratively and literally. But it's nothing Super Earth couldn't deal with. Like a rail cannon shot, an orbital rail cannon would probably take it down, maybe even tear it to shreds. I will give the military power to Super Earth. If you disagree, please let me know, because I'm kind of on the edge. Next up, the fleet strength, the number, scale, and quality of space and naval vessels. The total size of the Tau fleet is unknown, but judging by Battlefleet Gothic Armada, the largest Tau fleet in the game, without using mods, is about 12 ships. Now in the ship customizing section, you can choose which sept you belong to. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that means that just comes from the planet. And at 12 ships per planet, that is about 3,360 ships across their estimated, because Warhammer just loves giving us numbers, 280 planets. Now, I'm pretty sure that's slightly larger than Super Earth's total planet size, but when it comes to just total number of ships, Super Earth has. Well, I came to the conclusion based off a screenshot from a dev, which, assuming you've heard this, you already know, so sorry if I'm repeating myself. But he said that the gameplay numbers are canon, so stuff like total number of Helldiver deaths, and enemy deaths. This is a bit of a stretch, but I will say this does include game sales. And Helldivers has sold 20 million copies. Now, obviously, in my Illuminate video against the Tau, I said that the Tau stomps even with this overwhelming advantage. But I believe it's different for Super Earth because we do know that every ship in the Super Earth Navy, super destroyers, they can fight. We see them clashing with Tauntaun ships, and they seem to fare pretty decent against the fleet destroyers. So I will say that the overwhelming advantage does play into Super Earth winning this stat. Now, Tau ships way better, way bigger, more firepower. But at this scale of more than several thousand to one, I will give it to the Tau, or sorry, Super Earth. So yeah, Super Earth is coming off with a 2-1 advantage, or 2-0. Sorry. Next up, super weapons. Who has like, the super weapons, planet killers, reality bombs, all that stuff. And the Tau Empire, to my knowledge, do not have super weapons. They have used super weapons. I think there was a story of where like a Tau commander hacked a cyclonic torpedo and exterminated a chapter homeworld. But like that doesn't really count because that is them hacking an Imperium torpedo. No. And Super Earth, they are famous for their super weapons. The DSS, not the Star of Peace, its test fire cracked a moon, and it recently scoured an entire planet. And now, with the Star of Peace, it turned the planet into a black hole. The second time Super Earth has done this. Because the first time was with Meridia and the Dark Fluid. So yeah, super weapons, just the 3.2 Super Earth. Even if the Tau had a super weapon, it wouldn't really matter. Because, like, very few people in 40K can match the DSS. I guess there was the Necron World Engine and the Blackstone Fortress, but like nothing really else. Like and the Phalanx. Now the fourth category will be technology level. Just how advanced are they? Now this is like Subaru has a very common habit of reverse engineering and improving on just most technology they find. But like I will say the Tau are more advanced, but like as this war continues, Super Earth is going to match and maybe even surpass the Tau. Like obviously Super Earth is better FTL, but like I know like FTL is extremely important, but just in general, I'm gonna say the Tau are more advanced. I think it's gonna be kind of like the Imperium and the Tau technology levels. Like your basic stuff, the Tau does better, but the Imperium, like at their highest, has way more advanced stuff than the Tau. So I'm gonna give it to like the Tau for now, because like in this war, Super it's gonna match. Maybe even do it pretty quickly, mind you. Because like remember all the stuff that's happened in Helldivers 2 has happened over the course of 2 years. Barely 2 years. Now, next up, we have the industry and production. The Tau industry is pretty good at being able to like keep up with the Imperium, and because like during the Damocles Crusade, the Tau city of I believe Dalith, no, that was the planet, and the city was Galbrian. Like it was pretty calm and in order, despite the fact that there was a war going on. Like unless a sector was literally on fire, people weren't panicking. It's like it appears Tau production and its industry is pretty in line and like, pretty good. Being able to produce like good weapons. It does appear that it has an advantage over Super Earth until the bullshit starts. Because if you remember, Super Earth captured the automaton Gigafactory, stupid name because it implies the existence of Terra and Megafactories. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Once it was captured and the major order was complete, it was either instantly, but like I'm just gonna like not say I'm just saying it's not true. I'm gonna say it took a few hours to produce enough emancipator mechs for the entire fleet. A few hours. That is just completely insane. Plus, like, every now and then we'll just get like a free stratagem for like a day or so. But like still, being able to produce enough of those for the entire fleet, presumably pretty quickly, as well as like, maintaining a fleet of 20 million ships, just industry because of like the numbers of Helldivers 2 being pretty like dumb, just gives them the advantage. Starting off with 4-1 for Super Earth. The economy, this isn't really important because it just doesn't matter. They're gonna have as much money as the plot needs them to. But like the Tau, they don't really care about the economy. Like they know what money is, they understand it. Like they don't really have it. They don't believe in personal wealth and all that stuff. So the economy is just a 3.4 Super Earth. I'm not going to include it in the tally because it's stupid. Because Super Earth is hyper capitalist compared to the Tau, who are pretty social. Although the Tau being communist is complete meme lore. Like they have a caste system. They're not communist. I'm not going to include this, so it's still just going to be 4-1 for Super Earth. Next up, population. Now I know I'm just gonna go back to economy real quick. I know I don't include this stat, but like it's because we don't really this is the stuff I am an expert in, like Helldivers and Warhammer. The economy isn't really that important because like imagine if the Imperium crumbles because they ran out of money. That's pretty stupid. And if it ever is important, I will include it. Next up, seven, population. Who just has like, more people. Now, as established, the Tau have a population of 150 billion. Now, it is never said in Helldivers the total population of Super Earth, but I will say it's more than the Tau. Because in the Illuminate invasion of Super Earth, like this could very well be propaganda. Like it will say that like billions were lost in like hours. Now I'm gonna say that's wrong, but like Super Earth's population with the seven megacities is probably like 10 to like maybe even 20 billion people. Big stretch, I know. But like the megacities, they definitely have billions of people. Like even now, like let's say that the 8 billion people of the world live in seven separate megacities. That is still a pretty big population per city. It's like something billion. And like Super Earth, they have more than just megacities on Super Earth itself. Because like when the Terminids attacked Crucible after the invasion of Super Earth, it had several megacities. There are megacities just everywhere, even on the most random planets. Like I will give this to Super Earth just because of how many megacities they have. Another point for Super Earth, 5-1. Next up, logistics. The Tau, they have amazing logistics, being able to keep entire cities in line even when the Imperium of Man is knocking on the door. Hey, Xenos, I've come to talk about our Lord and Savior, the Emperor. But like again, the logistics of Super Earth are just insane purely because of how the numbers are canon. Being able to like manage the entire fleet and just all of that, pretty like orderly by the looks of it, because Super Earth is as organized as the plot needs it to, which is a lot, pretty well organized. Another point for Super Earth, intelligence and espionage. I'm going to be like giving this to the Tau because Super Earth, they don't really do all too much espionage. There was that one cyber attack on the Great Host, but like the Tau could also do that. There's no reason why they couldn't. And when it comes to just spies, a Tau stealth suit is gonna do better than like a Super Earth spy. There's no mention of spies because the factions in Helldivers seem to dislike humans. But like I will say that like because of how Super Earth citizens are basically brainwashed, and if there's like a town meeting, it's gonna be like, okay, how are we gonna kill these stupid tyrants? Be like, how the fuck dare you criticize Super Earth? And then it's like, oh, he's a spy, and then just blow his head open. But so I'm gonna give this to Tau. It's gonna be 6-2 because I ignored economy because it's not important. Next up, leadership. We have no mention of Super Earth leadership other than like the president and like General Barash and I guess the head of the ministries. But because of how Warhammer is written, it is more inclined to like have named characters than Helldivers. It's like leadership is a free point, 6-3. Now strategy and doctrine. The Tau do have advanced doctrines and pretty good strategies, but then again, so does Super Earth. And how well they like plan wars and adapt to their enemies. I'm gonna say this like is a complete tie because we see how fast Super can reverse engineer their enemy technology, and same with the Tau. Like Damocles, the Tau like build their own space marines, given they sucked ass. But like still, they'd only like been encountering the Imperium, specifically space marines, for like maybe a few months at that point. But like it is extremely fast, and Super does it pretty fast as well. And like when it comes to overall strategy, Super does appear to like do the same stuff more than the Tau, but just like it does appear that it's just a complete tie. So we're gonna be going on to the next stuff, internal stability. So Super Earth and the Tau both appear to be extremely stable, having very few rebellions. But I think Super Earth does it better for like two different reasons, because like even after Northman's Creek and like the Cyborg Rebellion, Super Earth appeared to like went all in into like just being totalitarian, and it worked because like the dissidents, whatever dissident groups are there, over 100 years, and with the help of a massive war, they haven't really done anything. They may have burnt down a factory, probably not. It's implied that they didn't, and that Super just blamed them, and like hijacked a few like just I guess broadcast systems compared to like Tau dissidents. They're like, yeah, Tau catches a lot of them, but like Commander Farsight, he took 4 entire planets with him. Like, seriously, I'm giving this to Super Earth. So it's gonna be 7-3 next, I believe. Next up, just political influence. This doesn't really matter because like it's like just who has allies, vassals, and soft power. Like seriously, who is gonna accept like any of their cries to help? I don't think the automatons would rush to help Super Earth, and I don't think the Imperium is gonna help Tau. In fact, they probably just want their enemies to kill each other so that they weaken, kind of like the Octarius Gambit, which blew up in the Inquisitor's face because the Tyranids won, but they gained all that biomass and knowledge, making Leviathan way more dangerous. Thank you, Cribman, you dumbass. Next up, we have the defensive infrastructure. Just who has better defense? This is going to be an easy point for the Tau because we do know they have like orbital defense stuff, kind of like the Supermax and Halo, compared to the Super Earth, who just like has the orbital cannon. And let's be honest, an orbital cannon is not doing shit to a Tau ship. It's just gonna bounce off the shields. Next up, mobility, FTL speed, portal networks, just teleportation. Once again, like the FTL and Helldivers is just bullshit. Being able to move across 1,200 light years in a few seconds, 4.3 to be exact, that's just insane. Like there's only a few like cases of FTL in fiction that can surpass that. The next step was adaptability, but we've already covered that. It's just a tie. Now the morale, again, because of how Warhammer is written, there's gonna be like more inspirational characters doing morale. But like when it comes to like morale, there's not really like much to go off of for Super Earth. It does appear that like the Helldivers are pretty in line, but like we see they scream, they do get scared and they do break. Now this could just be because that's how they work and like people because we're controlling them and we are inclined to live. But like the Tower morale is just way better because like I'm sorry for keep going back to this, but like the city of Geld Ryan was being like attacked by the Imperium ruthlessly, and it was perfectly in line. Like beyond the front lines, everything was going perfectly fine. Everything was normal. Next up, we have war experience. Who's been doing this longer? It isn't stated when the last war began, but like Super Earth probably began around the year 2013, giving them about 100 and like 30, maybe pretty sure it's like 129 total years of just existence compared to the Tau, who I'm pretty sure have been fighting the Imperium for longer than that. Actually, sorry, I got that wrong. Because like for Super, it's like 169 years. Nice. Maybe a little longer because I did not do the math. But like the Tau, they've been around for more than 160 years. They've been fighting way longer. They've been fighting orcs, Tyranids, the Imperium. They even had like a couple of clashes with the Necrons and Chaos. It's like war experience is just a Tau. It is a Tau victory. So, when going over the tallies, Super wins. I know it seems pretty close, but like the Tau, they did win some like minor stuff. Now, I just want to say this because if I ever do like a video where like one side gets 4 points but the other wins, I just want to say it's because if one side just dominates a category so completely, it can like completely invalidate others. And this may be coming up soon. I don't know, I just wanted to like say this just like a rant. But anyway, Super Earth, according to me, wins.